We wanted to see the Colorado 2024 season results according to College Football 25 to see how the game thinks the Buffaloes will perform this year. All eyes are on Colorado this year, who hope to improve on their 4-8 record. However, the team faces some difficult opponents this year, all of whom will hope to embarrass the Buffaloes on national television. So let's see how they perform on the virtual field. Disclaimer: prepare yourselves for a hilarious season simulation. Of course, our first ever simulation posed a challenge since North Dakota State isn't actually in College Football 25. When trying to download and import NDSU via Team Builder, we had troubles recreating the full 2024 schedule in Online Dynasty. Not all matchups were the same and others were locked, meaning we had to edit them. Therefore, we had to bite the bullet and stick with FCS Northwest. Regardless, Colorado had no difficulty defeating their opponent and earning their first win of the season. QB Shedeur Sanders completed 18 of 31 passes for 297 yards and 3 touchdowns. Travis Hunter also popped off, scoring a 75-yard receiving touchdown halfway through the first quarter. On defense, the team limited the opposing QB to just 97 passing yards on 22 attempts. Despite a strong offensive effort from Colorado in Week 1, they struggled against the Cornhuskers in Week 2. Shedeur Sanders threw 2 interceptions on a day where he completed over 67% of his passes. The team's only touchdown came in the form of a 66-yard punt return from Lejeanty Wester at the end of the third quarter. Nebraska, meanwhile, dominated in time of possession and third down conversions. QB Dylan Raiola completed 20 of 23 passes for 231 yards, keeping the team on the field while wearing the Buffalo defense down. Overall, Colorado's first road trip ends in disaster. Colorado State wanted revenge so bad after last season's loss. Unfortunately for them, they once again lose to the Buffaloes in epic fashion. Things started off slow until the second quarter, when Colorado State just exploded offensively. The Buffaloes had a 10-3 lead, but turnovers and quick 3-and-outs lead to a surge for the Rams. CSUWR Donovan Ollie managed to record nearly 250 receiving yards against the Colorado defense. Down 13-24 at the end of the third quarter, it seemed like Colorado was about to lose again. But thanks 2 touchdowns later, the team reclaimed the lead, with the score now 28-24. Travis Hunter's 71-yard punt return touchdown put the team ahead of the Rams. However, Colorado State responded with 2 consecutive touchdown drives, outscoring Colorado 14-3 for a brief stretch to take a 38-31 lead. Lejeanty Wester came up again with another big play, this time a 75-yard touchdown reception to make it 38-38. Colorado managed to stop their rivals on third down, and with seconds left, managed to get into field goal position. Alejandro made the 50-yard field goal with 6 seconds remaining to help the team win their second. Colorado struggled to get the ball rolling in the first quarter. However, a 64-yard punt return touchdown from Travis Hunter helped the team tie things up against the Bears. Hunter also earned 114 receiving yards, along with 53 rushing yards in just 6 catches and 3 runs, respectively. The team went on to score 10 more unanswered points and headed into halftime with a 17-10 lead. The Buffaloes' defense did their part, limiting QB Dominic Richardson to just 5.9 yards per attempt. They also forced an interception and a fumble, while the team committed no turnovers. It wasn't a flashy game, but Colorado came through with the win nonetheless. The Buffaloes visited the undefeated UCF Knights and escaped with a narrow victory. Once again, the team found themselves trailing early on. However, Shedeur Sanders had his best performance of the year yet. The senior QB completed over 77% of his passes with 3 touchdowns to boot. Once again, the Colorado defense did their job, preventing the Knights from extending their early lead or from scoring in the third quarter. They kept the game close enough for Sanders to come up clutch and earn the lead. Tied 17-17 in the fourth quarter, Colorado managed to score 10 unanswered points, taking a 27-17 lead. Although UCF scored a touchdown on their next drive, they missed the PAT and trailed by 4 points. However, the Buffaloes were able to run the clock down and avoid a comeback, earning their 4th win in 5 games. Despite multiple injuries to Kansas State, which saw them lose their QB, WR1, and HB, the Wildcats actually played pretty well on offense. The backups, although not explosive, managed to dink and dunk their way down the field, dominating time of possession in the second and third quarters. However, Shedeur Sanders once again went off, scoring 3 touchdowns and throwing for over 270 yards in the win. Travis Hunter also caught 4 passes for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns along with a rush for 12 yards. Although both offenses quieted down in the second half, Colorado's offense still put up impressive numbers en route to their 5th victory of the year. The Buffaloes faced their first-ranked opponent of the season and almost beat them. Unfortunately, the Wildcats' rushing attack proved to be too much, with 4 zona backs averaging a combined 5.4 yards per carry. However, Colorado managed to keep things close thanks to a solid showing from Shedeur Sanders. He ended the day with 281 passing yards and a touchdown, but threw an interception on the team's final drive. The Buffaloes' running game didn't do them any favors either. Dallan Hayden only ran 9 times for 19 yards and fumbled early in the game when the team was in the red zone. Overall, not the worst loss, but one that keeps the team out of the top 25 for now. The Buffaloes quickly got over their loss at Arizona with a strong offensive showing against the Bearcats. Shedeur Sanders threw for over 300 yards along with 5 touchdowns on just 20 pass attempts. Dallan Hayden rebounded off an ugly performance, carrying the ball 20 times for 102 yards. And of course, Travis Hunter also shined with 3 total touchdowns, 2 catches, 1 punt return. However, the Buffaloes' defense looked a bit suspect near the end. Had the offense not kept scoring, it was possible Cincinnati could have came back. After taking a 24-0 lead, Colorado was outscored 34-24 afterwards. Thankfully, they didn't need to worry about any comebacks today. With the win, the Buffaloes secured a bowl game appearance. Entering this game with a rank to their name, the number 25 Buffaloes managed to dominate a tough 7-2 Texas Tech team. Overall, there's not much to say here, other than the fact that the team played well in all areas. QB Shedeur Sanders completed 17 of 24 passes for 274 yards and 4 touchdowns. Furthermore, Texas Tech was unable to score on 4 different red zone drives. Thus sealed a close victory for the Buffaloes as they now possess a 5-1 record in the conference. This might be the most unbelievable result in the entire season sim, considering Colorado managed to easily defeat the 8th best school in the nation. After taking a 27-0 lead, it seemed like there was little the Utes could do to win. Nevertheless, their comeback attempt saw them outscore the Buffaloes 19-7 in the last quarter and a half. However, the Buffaloes managed to pass on by and earn another big victory. Will Deion Sanders really be able to take this team to these heights right away? We're not so sure, but with CFB 25's generous ratings for Colorado, it's easy to understand why they play so well. Despite destroying Utah and Texas Tech, Colorado somehow struggled against the 5-5 Jayhawks. Trailing 14-0 in the first, Travis Hunter scored yet another punt touchdown, making it 14-7 just before the second. Then, Colorado's offense exploded. Dallan Hayden recorded 25 carries for 189 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Buffaloes' ground game finally erupted. The defense had little answers for Jayhawks QB Jalen Daniels, who scored 5 touchdowns in the game. In fact, the Jayhawks actually reclaimed their lead in the fourth quarter after scoring 3 unanswered touchdowns in the fourth. However, Jimmy Horn Jr.'s 10-yard touchdown reception with 10 seconds left led to another Buffaloes victory. This miraculous Cinderella run extends once more with a win over the 7-5 Oklahoma State Cowboys. This game was dominated by both offenses and was a constant back and forth. In fact, there were 7 different lead changes throughout the contest until the Buffaloes just barely escaped with a victory. At this point, I personally can't believe this team will get 6 more wins than their previous season. However, EA Sports loves Colorado, giving them some of the best players in the game. Therefore, it only makes sense that they perform so well virtually. Yes, this actually happened. The number 11 BYU Cougars defeated the number 8 Colorado Buffaloes in the Big 12 Conference Championship. I'm not making this up. Shedeur Sanders completed only 51% of his passes, though still managed to record over 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns in the affair. Meanwhile, BYU QB Bobby Bohannon went off, throwing for 393 yards and 3 touchdowns. The game was their first overtime game of the season, and unfortunately it ended in a loss for them. Alejandro Mata nailed a 50-yard field goal, but BYU responded with another field goal of their own. Shedeur Sanders then threw an interception, giving the Cougars the chance to win it all. The rest was history. Things were going a little too well for Colorado this season, and the chances of them actually making the CFP are very slim. Even with the expansion to 12 teams, it's hard to believe the Buffaloes will even win 10 games. But again, because of the high ratings for the team, the game expects Colorado to perform very well. That explains why they even made it this far. But in the end, the Nittany Lions finally and thankfully let reality set in. They held the Sanders to just 155 passing yards, while Dallin Hayden only recorded 36 yards on 10 carries. Additionally, Sanders threw 2 interceptions and Travis Hunter was nowhere to be seen. On defense, the Buffaloes played well in the first quarter, but fell apart soon afterwards. They allowed 2 different receivers to eclipse 100 yards, while they allowed 6.1 yards per carry altogether from the 3 opposing halfbacks. But the biggest problem seemed to be the number of chunk plays. For different receivers caught passes of over 25 yards, which obviously impacted the score. Although their season ends in utter heartbreak, it's a fantastic outcome for a team that went 4-8 last year. Sure, we could have just turned off and reset every matchup. However, then it would have felt like we were controlling the outcome. So at the end of the day, we hope this either gave you a laugh or hope as a Colorado fan. Overall, that wraps up the Colorado 2024 football season results according to College Football 25. We can't wait to look back and see how accurately or inaccurately it matches with the regular season results. For more gaming and NCAF news, visit Clutch Points. Furthermore, subscribe to our gaming newsletter for more weekly info.